Today I'm going to take you through a repair on a 2011 Buick Enclave that slid underneath a semi-truck. Damaged the hood, fender, both doors, cowl, A-pillar, and the roof. Front bumper, headlight, all that good stuff. So first thing we're going to do is take it all apart. And before I hear or get all the comments about this car should never be fixed, the only reason this car was totaled because of the amount of labor that's involved to do this kind of job. You probably will never see anybody else do this kind of job just because of the labor involved. There's no money to be made in this job, but this was not my car, so I didn't lose the money. So there's that. I'm just a lucky guy that loves challenges and decided I wanted to fix it. So now I'm taking everything apart, getting it all ready. Headliner. Take the lift gate off. Roof rack. Sunroof assembly. Curtain airbags. No airbags deployed on this car, so I'm removing all the good ones. I'm going to pull the drivetrain out of it. Front bumper. All the cooling was good, radiator and condenser. So I'm going to drop all that, not even disconnect it, take it all out with the motor and trans. Pull the exhaust down, drive shaft. Straighten out the end of the lower radiator support. Bumper reinforcement. Now we're going to pull the radiator support off, take out some of the stuff on the cowl. Now we're going to pull the dashboard out of it. Bungee corded up the steering wheel so it doesn't rotate when we got the steering or dashboard out. It'll ruin the clock spring that's inside. Just taking some of the insulation off the cowl. Now we're going to pull the running boards off of it. This side I have to take them off so I can work on the rocker and the pillar. On the other side I have to take them off, just like this side, so that I can put the clamps for the frame rack on there, on the pinch weld. Take the fender off. And we're going to start our pull. Put the red port of power in there to keep the chain from sliding down to get the pull right on the curved part. I've done all the pulling I can together, so now I'm going to separate it so I can pull the A-pillar and the cowl separately. Trim out some of the outside pieces so I can get to the inside stuff. See what I'm working with. Pull out all that awesome foam. Spend a lot of time straightening the top of this cowl piece. You'll see why in a little bit. Yellow tape line there is actually over the VIN number, so you could kind of follow it along. I'm going to save that piece. I'm not even going to take it out of the car. I'm going to overlay it on the piece I put in. If you head over to my Instagram, you can actually see the entire piece that I put in and a video of everything up close. Pull out some more foam there. If I were to change that piece, I'd have to call the state out and have them put a new VIN number on it, which takes months. So this way, I just move it out of the way and overlap it with the other piece that I'm going to put in, and then I don't have to have it re-tagged because I never actually took it out of the car. So on this car, instead of having a double cowl panel, mine will have a triple cowl panel. I'm going to take the roof skin off, so when I get the seam sealer out, so I just kind of heat it up, makes it a little easier to peel it out. After I get the seam sealer out, I can drill out all the spot welds. So cleaning all the urethane off from the windshield, I'm going to drill out all the spot welds. These roofs are screwed on, welded on, and glued on. I call it glue because it's easier to say, but it's actually structural bonding adhesive. Now you know why I call it glue. Don't think there's Elmers holding this car together. So now I'm going to heat up the glue, put a little pressure on it and heat it up, and it just pops right off if you got lucky and drilled all your spot welds correctly. So now we got our roof loose. I'm going to go back down to the A-pillar and rocker. Trim it off a little bit so I can see the inside pieces where I got to drill the welds out. Some more of that foam. Now we're going to take the uniside off. This was the main reason that we had to take the roof off, was to get to that's underneath it. This uniside is the only piece of this entire job that is sectioned. Everything else is put in entire pieces in the factory locations. I'm just getting that uniside off of there. And I'm going to take off the inner pieces. Sliding that piece out of there. Some more foam. We're back to the rocker. I'm taking out the A-pillar that goes down inside the rocker. It's actually between the two rocker panels. There's some glue in there, so I'm heating that up to break it loose. Drilling out the spot welds. Knock that piece out of there, some more foam. That's a 15-gallon garbage can there, and it was full of foam that I took out of this car. I'm going to drill the cowl loose from the firewall. Take that upper panel loose. And there's what I was referring to. I left the other end of it welded in and just kind of folded it up, made it like a door. So I'm going to take the pieces underneath it out. There you go. It would have been much easier, but like I said, it takes months for the state to come out and re-tag it, so to save that time, it's just easier to do it this way. Took the strut tower and rail out. Now we're just prepping all of our welds. Put the weld through primer on them and grind them all down. Get it ready for the new piece that's coming. There's a new piece. It's about 20 different pieces. I just left them all together, and I'm going to slide it into the other side. Slide the roof in, and now I'm going to slide that A-pillar down inside the rocker. Takes a little time, but still easier than taking it apart piece by piece. So we pull it down in there. Make making sure everything is sliding on the right side of the panels that it belongs on. Now we're going to work on the strut tower, getting it to line up with the rail. Sometimes you got to back up and try again if the pieces don't slide over the pieces are supposed to. And we're going to measure it. For everyone that says I don't measure, I left that in for you, making sure everything is where it belongs. And we're going to tack it up. We're going to put our outer piece on, and we're going to test fit our doors and weld everything up, making sure everything fits. Even though I measured it, still want to be sure all our gaps are going to be good. It's easier to change it before you weld it than after. So now we got everything welded up on the inside. Welded up the cowl and the roof. So now we're going to mark our outer panel where we're going to section it. Gluing that rail together. So while I'm waiting for the glue to dry, get that other uniside all ready to go. Trimming our edges, putting our backings in. When I put the uniside on, I actually weld through the uniside and sometimes up to 2 other panels underneath it. So that's why I didn't weld any of that yet. I'm going to scuff it up and I'm going to prime, put some etching primer on the stuff that I can't get to once I put the side on. A lot of people say this is an unnecessary step, but I like to make sure that I've covered all my bases. Sometimes you take it apart and there's bare metal in there, and I just want to make sure that it's better than the factory did it. Put my weld through primer on there. Now I'll put my backings in. There's only 3 spots there that were sectioned. That's where the only body work on the car is going to end up being. Put it all in there and clamp it all up and weld it up real quick. Wish it was this quick in real life. You'll see me do spots and keep going back and forth. The seams, I only do about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch at a time. Then I go back and do a different area and then go back to it. That's to keep heat from building up. Too much heat will weaken the metal and warp it. So you just do little spots at a time and it keeps the heat from building up. Now we're going to put the upper rail on. I had to take that out to get the uniside out. So really, of all this that I changed, I made it 3 pieces that I had to put on. I'm going to prep that upper cowl panel. Glue it on. Clamp it up. And then weld it. Now we got it all welded up. I'm going to put our roof skin back on. I'm going to put our glue on there. There's my body guy doing work I don't like. We're going to put the roof skin on. Move it around, line it up, clamp it up. Now we're going to weld it up. I was able to remove the roof skin and weld it back on and only have to paint the 2 channels and the front edge and back edge. Didn't have to paint the actual roof skin itself. The buckles that were in it pulled out when I pulled the A-pillar, so it took a little time, but it was much better than having to paint it. I'm going to put the sunroof drains in, put the insulation in there, put the cowl back together so I can put the dash in. It was all painted, or at least edged out, so I could put all this back together. The dash had a lot of damage. All that inner structure was broke, so this is the new one I'm putting on. That's why it's in pieces. It's easier to handle since I had to take it apart anyway. I put it in pieces. I'll put the lower piece on. Lower plastic. 6,000 screws that hold it together. And I didn't have any leftovers. Now we're going to put the upper panel on. Feed all the wires through where they go. 6,000 more screws. The instrument cluster and radio in it. I'm going to put the steering column in. Bungee cord it so we don't accidentally ruin the clock spring. Glove box in. I'm going to put the steering shaft in. Bungee cord it back up when we're done. And there's a subwoofer. Now we're going to put the drivetrain back in it. Drive shaft back in. The suspension back on. The exhaust back in it. Put the radiator support back on. Bumper reinforcement. Upper bumper cover support, which I probably shouldn't have put back on. I have to take it back off again, but these are the original wheels that belong on the car. They were damaged in the accident, so we had them sent out and reconditioned. So that's why they weren't the ones that were on there when I started. The front door on, the hood on, the right fender, left fender. Line everything up. I'm going to put our headlights in. Just going to mock everything up before we get it painted to make sure it all fits right. Any adjustments that we might have to do, it's easier to do it before you paint it. The rear door on. I put the sunroof assembly back in. Put the tailgate back on. Now we're going to pull the rear bumper and taillight, fender liner, wheel opening molding off, getting it all ready for paint. This is only so that we can paint the quarter. We're going to pull the quarter glass too. It's all painted. Now we're just going to put it all back together. The washer nozzles in and hose, hood insulation. Now we're going to put the driver's door together. It's easier if you do the driver's door first because it has all the controls for the other windows. So once you get that together, you can use everything else. Plus it's usually the biggest pain, so get it out of the way. Put the glass back in. the rear door together. Door panel on, check the window to make sure it works. We'll put our fender liner and wheel opening moldings and taillight bumper back up. Put our headlights in. Our upper cover support. Now we're going to put our bumper together. Everything just snaps together on these basically. It's not really fun to put those together. So we'll put our grill on. Put our insulation in, our wheel opening molding. And we're going to put our roof trim on. The seams for the roof have moldings that go in them. The clips that hold them on are glued in, so I just put some glue in there to hold them back on. Put the closeout panel on. License plate bracket. And now we're going to pull that foam back in. You can see when it drips down on the paper, you can watch it expand. It's like that great stuff that you see at the hardware store. It's just really expensive great stuff, basically, is what it is. So when that dries, start putting it all back together. Put the running boards back on. The rear fender liner, front fender liner. The wheel back on. Cowl screen. Check the wipers. Trim above the doors on. Louvers for the hood and the moldings for the doors. Now we're going to put the interior back in it. Usually would have done this sooner, but I wanted to leak check this one after we got it all together because I took so much of it apart. Didn't know if we'd have any leaks, so we ran some water over it for a good half hour and soaked it down real good, and there were no leaks, so we could put it all back together. If there was a leak, I wanted to have everything out so I could see directly where it was and take care of it. But we lucked out, had no leaks, so we go right to putting it back together. Seatbelt back in, front carpeting, middle carpeting, and rear. The console back in, side of the console, B-pillar trim, both sides, kick panel and side of the console, C-pillar trim, and we're to lower quarter trim. D-pillar trim. The seat belt's back in. I'll put the front seats in. Middle seats and rear seats. Compartment in the back. Now we're going to bolt the seats down. We're all finished. Okay, I know it was a big one, so I might have missed something. If I did and you have some questions, just leave me a comment and reference the time. It helps me figure out exactly what you're talking about, and I will answer your questions as completely as possible. Little backstory on this car. It was purchased about 4.5 years ago. If it was fixed the day after it was purchased, there was still no money to be made in this car. So that just goes to show you that not everything in an auction is a good deal. All it takes is two bidders in a bidding war, and the price is determined by who runs out of money first, which is, I think, what happened here. I don't know who else would have fixed this car, even when it was brand new. The parts were definitely not worth that much money back then. So I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't my job. It wasn't my car. It ended up being my job, but that was by my choice. I don't necessarily do this to make money all the time. I do enjoy it, but at the same time, I don't want to pay a bunch of money just to work on cars. This was a way for me to show you, hopefully, something pretty cool that you aren't going to see anywhere else and not lose a bunch of money all at the same time. Hopefully it worked out. Just so you guys know, it was done in 21 days, start to finish. 5 of those days it sat untouched. I didn't have to pull this one in and out of the shop, so I was able to leave it there and work on it every night. That kind of made it go a little faster. When it was done, I sent the paperwork in the next day. The paperwork went in on January 27th, 28th, something like that. April 10th was my salvage inspection for the Secretary of State. That gives you an idea how long I had to sit on this car just waiting for the state. If I'd had to put a VIN number on it, it would have been an additional who knows how long, few months. If you watch my other videos, there's a white Chevy pickup that's always there. It's still waiting for the state to come out and tag it. I don't even know how long it's been. I don't even want to know how long it's been. That's not my department. If you head over to my Instagram, I put additional pictures that I don't put in the video in there. And I'm going to start videoing some of this stuff so you can see it up close. And maybe I'll put some more final pictures in there just so that my videos aren't an hour long if that's not stuff you guys want to see. So if you decide you want to see it, you can just head over there, check it out. But I don't want to make my videos too long. I think I'm already kind of pushing it with this one. Let me know if you think I should have made this multiple videos or if this one is fine. It's kind of more like a TV episode at this point. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month.